Whew. Man, I had a blast co-hosting the collective skirmish event today, and it was 7 hours on a stream co-hosting with my buddy AJ from AdventureCo Gaming. I'll put a link down below in this video to go to the stream so you can watch the whole thing unfold. But man, it was a lot of fun. It was awesome seeing all these games, and the collective is a local game store near me. I haven't been there, but AJ is a big fan. It seems like they're doing great things for the community. They hosted the skirmish event and were really nice and offered some prize support as well. Really shout out to them. And I just want to talk about my experience because I had a lot of fun. I'm going to be talking a little bit slower in this video because I'm just really exhausted after a very long day, but I just want to talk about the moment because it was a lot of fun. And I mean, the first thing I want to say, going off into it, I was just really surprised the amount of people. I mean, there's like 64 people competing in the tournament, and that has definitely ratcheted up from the previous tournament I played in a couple months ago. And the amount of turnout, it there is an uptick, I think, in these gameplay tournaments for Flesh and Blood. And I want to go into that a little bit more, but before I do, I want to plug again. The collective was the card store. They did a great job of hosting, and AJ was the guy who coordinated it, and he was hosting the stream at AdventureCo. And then you have Alex, who was doing the gem ID stuff in the background and making sure everybody's win losses were set up there and doing the pairing. So it was a really group effort. There's a lot of people who were coming together, and I know Ryan from that kind of crew was also did the whole like backdrop for the hosting thing that I did on AJ's channel. So I just I think it was a really big team effort, man. It took a lot of cooks in the kitchen to make the pie just the way it is, but at the end of the day, it turned out great. It was a lot of fun. So I mean, what was funny is going into the first couple rounds. The games were really intense. I mean, I did not expect that for the first couple rounds. I mean, there was some really good matches. I mean, you had the Kano player who was at like 3 health, and then randomly like came back and won it at the end there. And I mean, you had a really good Reinhardt player. You had a lot of great Kasai players. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's just really great gameplay from everyone who is involved. And at the end, you started seeing more Ira decks, and ultimately Dante pulled it off with his Ira deck. And man, he had a really great gameplay and strategy. I think the strategy he did was very, very well done. It was just very consistent and very, very deliberate in every move. It seemed it formed a whole overall picture of what he wanted to do each turn, and he stuck with it. He didn't like jibber jabber on different random strategies. He focused on one thing and just went with it, and ultimately that won out. So yeah, overall it was great. I mean, the stream was 7 hours long, but I mean, we got a good amount of games in, and I think that one thing that really was great about it, and I said it on the stream to AJ, is that Legend Story Studios, when they said, "Hey, when time is called, you only have one more turn," that really does speed it up. And I know a lot of people think like, well, that leads to a lot more draws and that sucks, but man, it sped it up a lot. I mean, I definitely thought it was going to go past 7 o'clock, but we ended at 6:50 or 6:45, which is very impressive to me. I mean, I I was not expecting that. And another thing that I want to note in the skirmish event that was great too is when AJ was directing it, he said, "Hey, once you get paired up, just play, just go at it. You got your pairing, start playing right there." And that helped too, because when I was playing in my first event a couple months ago in the Bash tournament. You know me, man. I'm a little chit chat, and I like to to talk to my opponent a little bit. And I was setting up for the first time. I hadn't really competed too much, so it was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was setting all my stuff up. But in reality, I really could have done that ahead of time. So word to the wise, for future events, and I definitely want to do that too, because it's just being considerate, to everyone playing in the tournament, that you just want to get through your match in a lot of time, or do your level best, because at the end of the day, everyone has schedules to keep to, and if you're the last table, then it's tough. But other than that, man, I think that was a great play, overall, because it just got people in the mode of, okay, I got to my table and I'm gonna play, and it was really funny, because a couple times, I mean, we would get into the stream and the table would load, and automatically the players would be like instantly like, okay, I go first and I'm gonna play, and AJ and I were just announcing each other, and then the people were just starting to play. We're like, oh, okay, I guess there's action here. So, um, yeah, overall, I really like that too, because it just made it so gameplay constantly happened. Things were happening, but man, I mean, it was just a really fun time, and I'm glad that he invited me to his channel to do that collab thing where I was able to co-host with him. But overall, I just want to say that the skirmish events that are happening now are doing amazing. You got Rob from Tolarian Dropouts, and he's just a machine with this stuff, and he's a fellow Floridian too. He's just nonstop competing in tournaments, and I love that spirit. I think it's the spirit, man, that I think all of us, or a lot of people that have talked about Rob, did we really like, man. It's that spirit of competition, of constantly driving forward, and that's just really cool to see. And man, it's really cool to just watch everyone out there compete, man. And I haven't gotten to compete too much, but when I have, I mean, I competed in Jason's Deck Edge tournament in his skirmish event. And that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just really popping off, man. And I just want to wrap it up, with the collective event. It was just it was just great. I went through, I think, 8 blueberry muffins, and I went through like 6 bottles of water, and just had everything around me, and just went through it like an ox, man. And it was a lot of fun co-hosting. And I just want to transition it now into, if you're thinking about getting into the community, or you like Flesh and Blood, but you don't know how to, man, the sky's the limit. I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd do some co-hosting stream thing, but I did it, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know what more to say than that. Like, I've zero experience co-hosting anything. I guess I talk to people on my channel. I talk to people on videos, but I mean, I guess anybody could talk. But overall, I mean, it just I got offered, like, hey, man, and AJ was like, yo, you want to co-host with me? I was like, yeah, it looks like I have time. Yeah, let's do it, man. And it was just as simple as that. It's just figuring out that you have time to spare and you want to try something new, and going for it. And I know that a lot of times you see these tournaments and people who are competitive, and you might worry, like, oh, like, they have the good strategies or the good decks, and I don't know if I can play against that. And I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna pull off a lot of W's, but I'm gonna tell you is it's a lot of fun. I've played in 2 tournaments so far, nothing to hold my hat on, but it's just a lot of fun, win or lose. And yeah, it's just good times overall. I mean, you don't have to be good at this game. And what I'll tell you too is, there's a fallacy as well, where you may look at someone and think that they are really good, and that you don't compare, or that you are never going to get to that level. But I'm going to tell you, this is the reason why they're good. And this might come as a complete shocker, man, but the reason why they're good is because they've played so much. They've gotten those reps, they've pumped it out. Like I've told you many times in the past, it's all about doing things, many, many different times before you get better in it in life. And there's a joy in adventuring into that stuff. And I've just really enjoyed going into the community and being a part of it in many different ways. And I think that's kind of just not the advice I'm giving. This is no advice. I'm just telling you my personal experiences here. Is it's great to just figure out that you love something, right? And like, I love Flesh and Blood. I'm like, I love this thing. I want to do stuff with it. And not being scared to just jump into different things. And yeah, there's so many different ways that you can get in the community. I mean, now with the skirmish events, oh boy, I mean, they're really fun to play in, and you don't even have to win to be in the runnings for those promo cards that Legend Story Studios is given. And I want to, segue into that now. Go off in a bunch of different tangents here, but the way that they made these skirmish events based on just participation is perfect because you don't have to be good at the game. You can go 0-6 and still get the same promo card as somebody who wins the freaking tournament. I mean, the person who wins the tournament is probably going to get, whatever prize that the store has. In this case, the collective was nice to open a Welcome to Wrath Unlimited booster box and give out packs to the different level players. So you won't get the store's prize, but you have the same amount of chance, from my knowledge, that anyone else has in the tournament just by participating, which makes it very attractive to just go out and have fun, and it's no big deal. You can go literally 0-4, 0-5, and you still get the same probability. So I think that was really good. And I talked to Matt recently from the Fab Arsenal, and I really liked his point that Legend Story Studios saying that they are going to ship out the promo cards for the skirmish event is a huge dedication to their player base and a huge thing that they're doing because it takes a lot of money to print those cards, to send those cards out to specific people all around the world. You know how much that shipping rate is? It's a good amount. And just the time aspect and all the crap that deals with that, it's a lot. And when you see that burden that they are taking on, not only are they taking on, but they're saying, that's going to help the local game stores because the local game stores don't have to deal with that as much, but it's also showing to the players like, hey, we are passionate about people coming together and playing our game, and we're going to show that by us taking the initiative and handing out the prizes in due course. So I just really want to say that it's great to see all the participation, and if you're thinking about doing it, man, I mean, just anything. Yeah, I mean, there's content creation. There's also the forums. There's building websites. There's doing a bunch of stuff, man. There's different card alterations. There's a bunch of different things that are out there. Like I think I saw a Final Fantasy 9 alteration in one of the games that I played in, or in one of the games, excuse me, today in the collective. It's been a long day, guys. But yeah, overall, there's just so much opportunity out there to get involved, and it's so cool as well because everyone's really just nice. Everyone I meet is just a nice person. It's it's just unfathomable. It's just like when you have that tone at the top of just nice people running a game store, nice people who make the card game, it just forms that community that's very close knit. And I also want to say that I have seen a lot more collaboration between people, and it's just beautiful, man. But overall, uh yeah, don't be afraid to try anything new. Go for it and have a lot of fun out there because there's a lot of fun to be had. And again, just really had a great time overall. Just to sum up, wrap this up. I know I've been rambling a little bit delirious here because pretty tired. Like 7 hours, man, of just talking about Flesh and Blood. I mean, it was a blast. It was a blast, and I had so much fun. And now this is like you go at a hard day's labor job and you come home and you're really tired. That's me right now. I'm about to pass out here. But what's funny too is I wasn't even playing the game. I can't imagine what Dante or any of those other guys have felt after so many games. But it was just a lot of fun watching, a lot of fun commentating, and again, I'll put a link down below to AJ's channel, AdventureCo Gaming. He's doing a lot of commentating on Flesh and Blood gameplay for events, and I'm really looking forward to more of that stuff. And that kind of content's really cool. And I love seeing that stuff emerge here because it's really gonna put Flesh and Blood on the main stage for hey, this game this game's a lot of fun to compete in. There's a competitive side, and not now we're not demonstrating value. We're engaging physically with the customers and engaging physically with the players and gameplay. So, yeah, big shout out to AdventureCo Gaming. If I didn't plug them enough, but really cool guy, AJ. And yeah, that's about it, man. Had a lot of fun. Hope to do it again. Maybe not soon, but in the future, man. It was just it was it was a truckload of a day, but yeah. Uh, long live Fab and have fun getting out there in the community, whether it be anything, man, competing, playing, watching, what have you. It's a great place to be, and I'm really glad to be a part of the community. So again, thanks for watching, man. Have a good one.